I would contend certain players that look a certain way or maybe don't roll a certain way, treating them in a certain manner by other players in the league.
Something's gone wrong. Something may have gone wrong if they have now equipped the Twitter fingers. But Sophie Cunningham now has Twitter fingers.
The WNBA just got hit with another firestorm, and this time, it's not coming from fans, analysts, or even coaches. It's coming directly from the floor. Sophie Cunningham, one of the league's most outspoken and fiery players, has just dropped a bombshell of her own. She claims the WNBA is punishing her because of Caitlin Clark. The accusation has already sparked a whirlwind of debate, controversy, and raw emotion. And if what Cunningham is saying is true, it could tear open one of the most heated divides the league has seen in years. For context, Sophie Cunningham has never been the type to hold back. She's tough, she's physical, and she's unapologetic about it. To some, she's the ultimate competitor. Scrappy, fearless, and willing to do whatever it takes to win. To others, she's a villain. Too rough, too aggressive, sometimes even reckless. That perception exploded this season as she and Caitlin Clark found themselves colliding, literally during games. Clark, the rookie phenom whose star power has eclipsed almost everyone else in the league, has been the centerpiece of WNBA marketing, ratings, and debate. And Cunningham? She's become one of the faces of the resistance, often tangled up in hard fouls, confrontations, intense exchanges involving Clark. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. So when Sophie came out and claimed the league is targeting her, handing out fines, calling ticky-tack fouls, and holding her to a different standard than others,
Kathy Engelbert, Adam Silver, they don't have any control over this league at all, and they should. You guys run the league along with the owners. The players don't run this league.
That is the referees doing their job. The referees doing their job is not preventing anything happening. The referees doing their job is making sure they call the right things.
it sent shockwaves. And the way she framed it made the headlines impossible to ignore. "This isn't about me being physical," she said. "This is about Caitlin Clark. The league is protecting her, and I'm paying the price." The implications are massive, because if Cunningham is right, then the WNBA isn't just refereeing the game, it's controlling the narrative. Clark is the crown jewel of the league's current rise. The rookie whose jersey sales smashed records and whose presence on TV has sent ratings into orbit. Protecting her isn't just about safety, it's about business. But punishing other players for playing their style of basketball? That crosses into dangerous territory. Fans are split right down the middle. Clark supporters immediately dismiss Cunningham's comments as bitterness, saying she's frustrated because Clark outshines her in every way. They argue that Sophie built her reputation as an enforcer, and if she gets whistled for crossing the line, that's just accountability, not punishment. But others see it differently. They argue that the WNBA is bending over backward to make Clark the hero. And in the process, players like Cunningham are being scapegoated. After all, basketball has always had physical defenders, agitators, and bruisers. Why is it suddenly a problem now?
I can't remember if someone was like the WNBA's biggest superstar, Caitlin Clark, and their second biggest superstar, Sophie Cunningham. And it's like, I don't actually agree with that, but I do agree with Sophie Cunningham being one of the 8 most famous players in this league.
On your team by the name of Chloe Bibby, I would say it's time for the rise of Chloe Bibby if Sophie Cunningham is out.
The Fever's fan base, of course, erupted. Clark Nation flooded social media, calling Sophie jealous, petty, and irrelevant. But outside of Indiana's bubble, there's a very real conversation happening. How much is the WNBA reshaping itself around Caitlin Clark? And how far are they willing to go to protect their golden ticket? Cunningham's claim didn't come out of thin air. Over the past month, she's been whistled for multiple questionable fouls, hand checks, bumps, and body contact that, in other games, would have gone uncalled. She's also reportedly been slapped with fines for conduct that many see as part of her usual intensity. For Sophie, it feels like a pattern. And in her mind, the pattern has one explanation. Caitlin Clark changed the rules. The controversy is also fueling old tensions between WNBA veterans and the league's new wave. Some vets feel Clark has been handed superstar treatment without earning her stripes, while they had to grind through years of obscurity and low paychecks.
In the game, towards the end of the game, J.C. Sheldon, of course, charged at Sophie Cunningham, and Sophie did a move on her and got her out of the way.
Sophie Cunningham plays for the Fever, hits a lot of threes, is second in the league in true shooting percentage. So, like, elite role player.
Cunningham's claim adds fuel to that fire, making it less about Sophie versus Caitlin and more about old guard versus new face. It's about respect. It's about who the league chooses to elevate. What makes this so explosive is that Cunningham isn't hiding behind vague comments. She's putting the league on blast. That takes guts, and it also ensures she'll be under an even bigger microscope moving forward. Every foul she commits, every whistle that blows, every physical play will now be dissected like never before. If she's right and the punishment is real, the evidence will pile up. If she's wrong and it's just frustration boiling over, she risks alienating herself even more. The league itself is staying silent for now. No official statement, no clarification. But that silence speaks volumes, because if they deny Sophie's claims, they risk angering a veteran player and confirming the idea that Clark is untouchable. And if they admit there's even a shred of truth to it, the backlash would be nuclear. Other players would revolt. Fans who already question the fairness of officiating would lose trust. The WNBA would look like it was scripting outcomes rather than letting the game play out. Meanwhile, Clark herself hasn't addressed the claim directly. And maybe she doesn't need to. Caitlin has always let her play do the talking. But make no mistake, every time she drives into the lane now, every time she takes a hit, every time a whistle blows, people will be watching through the lens Sophie Cunningham just handed them.
The way she's responding is a little bit like somebody that kind of knows they have nothing to lose and would respond.
This is what happens when you call someone's sister a bitch. Yeah, you get retorted.
The broader impact is undeniable. This isn't just about two players clashing, it's about the soul of the league. Is the WNBA truly building a stage where stars can shine, or is it quietly crafting a narrative where one star must be shielded at all costs? Fans who tuned in to see pure competition are now wondering how much of what they see is organic and how much is orchestrated. And let's not forget, controversy sells. As much as the league might want to keep things clean, drama like this fuels headlines, debates, and ticket sales. Every rematch between Cunningham's team and the Fever is now appointment viewing. Every hard foul, every stare down, every call will trend on social media. Sophie may have set out to expose the league, but in the process, she may have made herself part of the spectacle. The bottom line? Sophie Cunningham's shocking claim cuts right to the heart of the WNBA's rise. Caitlin Clark has transformed the league into a mainstream talking point, but with that power comes scrutiny and resentment. Cunningham has dared to say what some players whisper behind closed doors.
I would contend certain players that look a certain way, or maybe don't roll a certain way, treating them in a certain manner by other players in the league.
Something's gone wrong. Something may have gone wrong if they have now equipped the Twitter fingers. But Sophie Cunningham now has Twitter fingers.
That the game is no longer called the same for everyone. That protecting a superstar has come at the cost of fairness. That her career, her style, and her reputation are collateral damage. Whether you see Sophie as a truth teller or a sore loser, one thing is clear. The conversation around Caitlin Clark just got even louder. And the WNBA, whether they like it or not, is at the center of a storm that shows no sign of passing.